I am Courtney Carlson, and we are talking about the internal subconscious work that we do that ripples out into our external gain or our external experience. That was a long one. What I mean by that is as we go on this internal journey of our thoughts, our emotions, our belief systems, our habits, our actions, looking under the curtain of what we're doing and why, as we examine these things, it's not always easy, it's not always pretty, but it changes our external experience. It changes our career, our money, our finances, our relationships with people. It just changes our lives. And so I know this from experience because when I was in my 20s, I wanted to overcome poverty and I wanted to get my education. And I had this external focus. I thought if I got my degree, this would be better. And if I moved cities, things would be better. And if I just did this, it would be better. And it had this external view. And it wasn't until my 30s that I really started to look within, look at my internal, my subconscious, kind of look at the wiring or the I'm kind of like thinking of like a grandfather clock or something, like looking at the machinery behind everything and going, okay, I've been around this cycle so many times in my life. And I wanted to know if it's not changing externally, how do I change this inside internally? And so as we go on this journey, again, thoughts, beliefs, mindsets, all of those things fuel our emotion and fuel our action. So you could imagine if you're constantly thinking thoughts of I'm not enough, I'm inadequate, I need to make myself be better, then you're going to feel the emotion of inadequacy, you're going to feel the emotion of not being enough, and then your actions are going to look like I'm not enough. I'm not enough to show up for that job promotion, for that date that I want to go on, for that trip that I want to plan. Like, I'm not enough to put myself out there. It's all going to reflect. And so what we get to do, and where I found so much healing and change, is in that internal process. As you are connecting through self-awareness, understanding what you've been through, your experiences, your emotions, everything that you're carrying, including your heart wounds, the experiences that shaped you, the beliefs that you had. I find this so much because I teach a healing from trauma and abuse class in my city. And I find that when I work with women, they're able to pinpoint the belief that they had. So for example, I won't use names or anything, but I had a woman that was like, yeah, every time my dad would rage or was angry at me, I would shut myself down and would kind of hide in the corner of the living room for safety. And she's like, she had enough self-awareness to see that, as when men are angry, whether it was her husband or her son or other men moving forward in her lives, that she would shrink back, make herself small and quiet. And she could see that parallel, because this is what happens when we have experience as a child and we respond a certain way. We continue that response our whole life. And what she couldn't do was change it for herself. And now I have a reparenting video if you are interested in how to change that. But the awareness and the internal process is so important, because as we see these dynamics play out, as we connect the dots in our own lives and going, oh my gosh, yeah, that's how I responded to him, and that's how I continue to respond. It's in those moments that we can change and we can do something different. So if I use her example, it would be helping the little girl to get to safety, to move, to set a standard of, hey, I'm going to talk to you when you're not screaming at me, when you're not yelling at me, when you're calmer. It's changing practically our experience now because we're connecting to that internal process. And again, check out that reparenting video if you want to know how to do reparenting. But if I think staying big picture here, internal processing really looks like healing those wounds, changing those habits, identifying, you know what, I do stay small, or I don't speak up, or I'm angry all the time, or I'm resentful. And you're following those lines, connecting those dots as to why you're doing the thing that you're doing. And as you change it internally, it starts to ripple out into your external experience. So, for example, if I am building up strength in my voice internally, if I'm listening to myself, I'm not quieting my voice any longer, then in my experience, I'm going to be able to voice my voice stronger. I know I said that weird, but as I'm valuing my own voice internally, externally, I will see the results of me having a voice in situations. And so I know it's kind of vague because I'm trying to cover everything you guys are coming with in this moment in hopes that you can do some of this work for yourself. Go on the internal journey. So that looks like, don't stay stuck in, well, my boss is mean to me, or this guy he yells at me, he doesn't communicate. Or don't stay stuck in telling me the external circumstances that haven't changed for you, because I want you to take your eyes off the external and I want you to come back and learn some of these internal skills of how to heal, how to process, how to reparent, how to get yourself to a new place, because that is going to take care of the external part of you all by itself. There could be some skills you need to learn, but really it's this internal processing, and that is what's going to set you free. That's what's going to change those cycles. You're going to start to notice, oh my gosh, I don't respond the exact same way. I'm not allowing the same people in my life. I'm not the one that's always giving and being left out. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, we have those cycles that we identify in our lives. And I promise you that as you go on the healing journey internally, that your external experience is going to change. And to me, that's kind of what this is all about, because I wouldn't go on that journey if there wasn't this, I don't know, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Because it can be kind of difficult sometimes. So just like always, I want you to take it to the Lord and have a blessed day.